Well, this is a video to give an update on the chassis for the 68 C10. As you can see, the motor is down in there, it's complete. The accessory drive is all installed with the alternator, power steering pump, power steering reservoir, and over here the top mounted air conditioner compressor. We started out with a different accessory kit and it stuck out too far, and we found out that this had a short harmonic bouncer on it, so we had to send the first kit back. Got this second kit, everything lined up. I had the air conditioning compressor originally mounted right down in this area, and when I went to set the motor down in there, the brackets for the air conditioner hit this fitting here, and then the air conditioner compressor hit the inside of the frame rail here. So I had to remove that, go online, do more research, and I found this kit here that moves the compressor up here out of the way and gets the belts all lined up with the Corvette pulley assembly. So everything's all nice in a straight line now. So we've got that wrapped up. Now my next dilemma is getting the power steering hoses hooked up. They go to these fittings right here and here. And up here behind the compressor, or the power steering pump, the fitting goes in here behind the pulley. So it looks like I'm going to have to pull this pulley off to get that fitting in there and then figure out the hose length. I've got the exhaust manifolds all bolted back on. Spark plug wires are all installed. Transmission's all bolted up, which means the torque converter's in it and it's bolted to the flex plate. Got the new starter all bolted in. Had to buy a dipstick tube for a 4L60 transmission. Couldn't find one for a 4L70, and the 4L80 was way off. So I had to make a spacer here, and this boss on the transmission doesn't get used, so I tapped it out and put a threaded insert in there to bolt that right on there, so that gets everything good and solid now. So the transmission's all bolted in, ready for me to order a drive shaft for it. Back here's the rear end housing assembly, which I've had it all together for a couple weeks now. It's got its lubrication in it and everything. It's all bolted in. I've got to tighten up the bolts yet, as you can see here. And the bolts for the 4 bars, I've got to get everything tightened up. But I've got the coil shocks mounted, the new lower adjustable mounts so we can raise and lower the rear height a little more if we need to. That's why we notched out these frame rails right here, to give us more room for the rear end housing to come up, or the chassis to go down lower if we want to. Got the flexible brake line installed so the rear end, when it goes up and down, has movement. Then we have the steel brake line going across the housing out to these flexible lines that hook to the calipers so that they can be removed in the future for any reason the rotor would have to be come off to be serviced. Tomorrow we'll probably install the gas tank back here in the rear where it goes and start figuring out the fuel line. So it's coming right along. I'll probably get the front end aligned either this weekend or next weekend. I've got a solid bar in here right now just so that the front end ride height is set so we can do a front end alignment. Once the alignment's done, I'll swap those out for the coilover shocks. After we do alignment, I'll go ahead and get the calipers put on here and get the front brakes hooked up also. But I just wanted to give you a video update of the chassis and how it's all going together, and a few of the problems that I've had to solve to make it a first-class truck. There you go.